Hey, what's going on, guys? Sorry for the late start. Looks like my camera's still not working properly, so I won't be able to be on video today, but I will go ahead and continue the call with a shared screen and at least do a voiceover so you guys can see everything I got going on. So we're going to start with oil. I sent out a trade for oil yesterday with a buy stop at 123, and it looks like we're about 200 pips into profit. One thing we do have to understand about oil is that the pips work a little differently as far as the way that it's gauged. So for every sorry, I lost my Bluetooth there for a bit. So for every 10 cents in oil equals 1 pip. It's kind of like gold. Excuse me, every 1 cent in oil. So it works a little bit. I think gold is 10 cents per pip, and then oil is 1 cent per pip. So when you're looking at a $2 increase, you're looking at about 200 pips. For example, if you're to drop a 0.01 on this trade, you wouldn't be risking $8, you'd be risking $80. With the same return right now, instead of being up $2.47, you should be up about $25 per 0.01. So if you did take this trade yesterday, you're sitting at about $25 profit. I wouldn't really feel comfortable moving our stop loss just yet, but I would say you can go ahead and close some partials inside of that. AUDJPY was a runner that we left in. It came very close to peak entry. It was about 45 pips from final take profit. Looks like we're having another retest here. And we could potentially still stay in this. Our daily moving averages are still above our stop profit. So we could see another retest before we hit the overall take point. At this point, this is a win-win scenario. So I wouldn't really adjust this trade too much unless I see a way to further stop profit. But for right now, I'm just going to continue baking off partials and stay inside the buys. I charted this yesterday. I didn't send it out, but I did note gold potentially making a run towards all-time highs. Would like to see how the next 2 daily candles close to get a better sense of trend. That was right here. We had that wick rejection. It looked like this candle was going to close bearish and potentially start our downfall again. However, obviously, as of 5 p.m. today, that candle went all the way up. It reached all-time highs, almost created new ones. And this looks like it's going to be a retest and potentially create new all-time highs. I mean, with all the tensions that are going on with the war, we know gold is a safe haven commodity. So this would probably be a good time to start reinvesting into gold, silver, stuff like that. On a personal level, but also obviously these are great times to be trading gold. This is one of my favorite things about gold is that it becomes very predictable and that when it moves in huge growth spurts. So, I mean, let's just throw a fib on yesterday's candle, which was a pretty sizable candle, to be honest, about 600 pips. And I mean, that line, that 618, just fib doesn't lie, man. We got the low at 2034.98. Oh, make sure I'm on the right candle. Low at 1980.82. And then our high at 2070.35. So we really want to keep our eye on this area. I mean, we've got the 618, the 786, and it's our last strong area of resistance before we created all-time highs and then eventually dropped from the all-time highs. So this could be a solid continuation that we're looking to range towards new all-time highs. Set this note right here. Watch gold carefully for retest in between 618 and 786 reversal areas to take buys to new all-time highs. So we would be looking at a setup potentially a little something like this. And I'm not going to tell anybody to set this as a pending because obviously we need confirmation. This could be the beginning of another downfall. But if we are going to continue in the bullish direction, that would probably be my target. Looking at about a $20 risk for about $140 reward. Just depends on the overall scenario that we get. But for right now, I'm watching the gold retrace. SPX 500. Continue on the free fall, would like to catch it on the next retest of previous support before heading to that 786 reversal area. Long term could see this falling to 3,700s. So SPX is going to look a little something like this. As far as what I'm looking for, obviously we're never correct on these kind of things, but so I still see SPX very bearish overall, and I'm just really trying to catch it on one of these mini retraces before we head down to that last previous low right here at 37.20. If we get this retest right here, I mean, this could be perfect. We really already missed a perfect opportunity at the 618. And then this is actually the entry of this evening star that followed that 618 entry. So there's two missed entries right there, but if you wanted to set sorry guys, I think there was a mix up with my Bluetooth again. If you're looking to take that, I would set a sell limit around the 42.90 area. Your stop loss would be right above this wick, looking about 43.50. About a $60 stop loss, and then our eventual take profit of 37.20. Ooh. So, I mean, overall, that's a pretty solid risk to reward. It is a risky trade. We are risking about $60 inside of this trade. I think we actually have to go a little higher, excuse me. High is 44.20. So we're actually looking at about 44.30 here for our stop loss. Sorry about that, guys. This is about $140 stop loss. Obviously, the ideal entry would have really been right here in the 43.50 area, but you can also set a limit to that. I don't think we'll reach that area. The 42.90 looks very possible. The 43.50 looks a little bit more out of sight, but that does put our risk to reward a little bit better. So I might, just set that as a pending just in case we get back to that 0.5 area. However, because this is SPX, because we're in a very volatile time inside of almost every market, specifically the major markets pertaining to the USA. And, because we're already falling, and one of my favorite things to say is you never want to try to catch the falling knife. I'd rather catch it on a retest. I'm probably not going to take any trade at this moment. I'm just going to float this out as an idea for you guys. anybody that gets a chance to watch the video, and obviously I'll post the idea as well in the public. So for now, personally, I'm not taking any trade. This is just kind of what I'm looking for. Excuse me. AUDUSD, I pointed this out yesterday, prints higher than previous wick, most likely a fake out sell and retest before continuation back up. So here's that wick that prints higher than this previous one and higher than, oh, nope, a little bit lower than this one, but higher than this previous one. It's what I like to call a fake double top. A lot of times we'll get tricked into this double top scenario because we don't really look at the characteristics of it. We've got that sellout. Now, I would like to see a bullish close to tomorrow's daily candle, and then we would be looking to take buys tomorrow after 5 p.m. if we can close back up in this area right here. Let me highlight that real quick. So we're looking for bullish closure inside of this highlighted area, ideally above previous wick, to try to enter buys. So we're really just testing this right here. I mean, this could fall a little lower. We're really just trying to see if this is truly a fake out or if this is going to continue selling. But if this is a fake out, we might see a little something like this, where tomorrow we get this to print above and then we come a little bit down. We might do a little bit of consolidation and then eventually, you know, come back up into this area. So that's the position that I'm currently looking for myself. Obviously, like I said, you know, we're not market makers. Our job is to just take what the market gives us and then try to make the most out of it. So right now I'm still feeling very bullish on this pair. I just need that proper confirmation to continue taking buys. Now, if I don't get the confirmation, if we print lower than this and it's obviously a sell-off, we have this double top scenario right here, then that's something I could probably look into, you know, maybe taking sells down to the lower area, somewhere around here possibly. But for right now, I still like the buys better than I like the sells. So I'm going to stick with what the market is telling me and not with what I want to do specifically. EURCAD, this is a weekly. It's actually printed lower than I needed it to. So this markup is actually now invalid from yesterday. Oh no, I was looking for that retest. Yeah, so same kind of scenario here. It's a daily double bottom, but I had to zoom out to the weekly so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So we get right here. A lot of times we'll be fooled into taking this trade. This isn't characteristic of a double bottom because the second wick prints lower than the first. In a true double bottom or a double top, the second wick will always be, you know, in a buy higher than the first and in a sell lower than the first. Because all this is telling you is that there's indecision in the market. When you see a wick like this, where we come all the way down and then suddenly we come back up, this is just buyer's indecision. This is the banks, you know, just selling off, selling off, selling off. And then here we come as retail traders and we see this and we're like, oh, it's a double bottom. It's got to shoot up. Shout out to the scalpers. Shout out to the intraday traders that can probably make a few pips off of this. But for swing traders like myself, we're just going to get fooled into buys. You're going to take the buy. And then when we reverse down here and fall down, you're going to get dipped into stop losses. So we really have to be able to take the flip side of that, look for the retest, and then try to follow that on the way back down. So as we see, this is not a valid double bottom because of that characteristic. So what I did was I fibbed the most recent down trace, which was from here to here. Actually, I believe I just fibbed the previous candle, and now we have the extension. So we're looking for that reversal around the 618 and 786 extensions. Once we get that, like I said, this is a weekly, so we are looking at quite a swing trade here. Once we get the reversal and the rejection of the 618 area, then we can start to look to take sells, long-term sells for ECAD. So right here, I'm just gonna put waiting for retrace and looking for rejection of fib reversal levels on daily time frames to try to enter long-term sells. And then last but not least, I have GBPCHF. Yesterday I charted up with a bullish close. This would be a perfect buy setup post 5 p.m. tomorrow. This is a true double bottom. We're looking at a daily. This could be a very, very strong indicator. However, it does look like a pretty risky trade. So let's see if it's even worth taking the trade, because it has set up. Now, obviously, if we zoom into the 4-hour, the 4-hour entry probably would be a little bit better. Unfortunately, we've missed that as of right now. The 4-hour entry would have been right about here. Oh, it's really about the same. So the daily entry might be a little bit safer anyways. We'll go back to that. On the double bottom, as we know, you always want to put your entry above the highest wick. So we're going to go the highest bullish wick, excuse me. So we're going to go with the high of that, which is 1.22067. So we might enter, we'll say about 15 pips above. You always want to give the market room to breathe and also account for spread. And then for your stop loss, you want to put it a few pips below the lowest wick of the double bottom. So we got 1.21028. We might go 1.209. Give the market a few pips to breathe, account for spread. We're looking at a stop loss of 130 pips. Now our take profit, as always, we're just going to go back to the previous area of the market. So probably somewhere around right here, 1.25, we'll say 75, just to give it an even round number. And that gives us a take profit of about 355 pips. So we're looking at right under a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. Set this up again real quick. 1.222, I think I said. We said 130 pips on the stop loss. And then I think we said 2575. All right. Yep. All right. So that's actually right around a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. This is probably a trade that's ready to be sent out. So for anybody that's actively watching or anybody that's going to come back and watch afterwards, GCHF is ready. USOIL is in profit. AUDJPY is in stop profit. X gold, we're really waiting for the next few signals. SPX, we're kind of watching. There's a potential setup right there that I'm not comfortable with setting right now just because the market's a little wishy-washy. AUDUSD, we're waiting on signals as well. And then ECAD, we're just kind of waiting for the retest to finish up. I want to thank everybody for their time, for taking the time to watch this, whether you're watching live or you're going to watch post after I share this. And if anybody has any questions, Aud Usd should be on tomorrow at 9 p.m. and I'll probably stop by as well. So you guys have a wonderful day and we'll see you shortly. Bye-bye.